the AVL by nature, it was supposed to vindicate the police, you know what I'm saying, and clear them against the accusation. And just to remind you, because some of you might think I'm joking, you will remember there was a back and forth application between the defense and the state wanting the AVL to proceed, and the defense said no. Let's get an expert. We don't dispute that this AVL must be used, but let's get an expert. You remember that? Now, let me remind you the judgment. The judgment from the judge was there was some serious allegation, and those allegations are career threatening. You know what I'm saying? And they are, look, they are going contrary, or they are really harming somebody's reputation. If the AVL will clear the police, so be it. You know what I'm saying? That was some of the notes or some of the words that came from the judge as he was handing out his judgment that the AVL can be used. And you will remember the judge even said that part of the person that was implicated was Local Sergeant Mokwane himself. Therefore, he should be allowed to testify in local using this AVL, even though he is not an expert, but he was implicated in this whole shenanigan. Guess what? He then, okay, so the judge ruled in favor of the state, and boom, Sergeant Mokwane was testifying. But funny enough, in his testimony, he then agreed with the version of Bongani Ntanzi that the car stopped near this and this and this and this and this. That is what we have came to realize. So, in other words, Bongani Ntanzi did not lie about the fact that he was tortured at a certain place where the car stopped. Did he lie? No, he didn't. So even then, they agreed that they stopped, and everything that Bongani Ntanzi said, they agreed with. The only thing that they are disputing is the torturing and the chopping itself, which in this point, or at this point, I'm telling you this, you can't agree that we went to this location, but then you disagree as to what happened when you got to that location. In other words, we've got more reasons now to doubt the state than to believe them. But I'm about to show you more, provided that you are interested. If you are interested, then please stick around. As you stick around, there are just few things that I'm requesting from you guys, and those things are: number 1, subscribe. 2, like the video. 3, comment in the comment section below. 4, you need to share this video. 5, watch this video until the end. 6, watch the ads. Good people, we need to reduce the number of people, right? We need to get this to at least 50% of people who will be watching without being subscribed. So you are the reason why we are not getting or reaching our target. You are the reason. If you start subscribing now, you are pushing us into proximity to our target. Speaking about proximity to our target, I want us to go back a little bit, and now I'm going to read something here. There's a reason why I am going to read this, right? So the only thing that they are disputing, Advocate Mgomezulu had asked them that, okay, so far you have collaborated what Bongani Ntanzi said. The only thing that you are disputing is the fact that you tortured him. And then Sergeant Mokwane agreed. But then, wait a minute. Bongani Ntanzi did not have all the advantage of providing all this tracking record and all the stuff, but he knew exactly where and when he was assaulted, and he was able to point it out and say it happened near this, and boom, he was accurate. Why, therefore, we can't believe him when he say he was tortured at that place? But nevertheless, let's continue. Mgomezulu, at about 9:34, you went past Clip River Road on the N12. The car was then switched off at 9:38. Pretoria Industrial Park. Mokwane, I remember I was checking my wheels as there is a Sasol garage before the Kruger turned off. See, you see, our problem started right there to say you concur to anything that Bongani said, that okay, here I was assaulted, here I was abused and all the stuff, but you concur you concur that you stopped but you don't concur that you did what Bongani Ntanzi said you did, who are we going to believe if Bongani Ntanzi provided that without having the benefit of the computers and all the stuff, but he remembered and he could articulate those things correctly? Who are we supposed to believe? I'm telling you, it was a greatest mistake from the state to allow this AVL. They thought at some point it was going to collaborate all of their evidence, but it turns out that it is completely working against the state. It's exposing the state and they will regret the AVL. Mokhane, sorry, I'm going to refer Mokhane to the 18th of June, June 2020. Mokhane says, at about 19 Industrial Park, okay, let's leave that one. You stopped. Do you remember why? He says, I was checking my tire, so it took you 12 minutes to check your tire. Mokhane says, yes, at this moment you can't dispute that. At about 10:29, the car was then switched off for 15 minutes after you kept driving in Carltonville. Mokhane, I remember correctly, I was speaking to Brigadier Keninda regarding the directions, as we did not know precisely the place properly, right? So you took 12 minutes. Mngomezulu says, yes, it is possible. Yes, that is possible. 10:23 shows excessive idling towards Carltonville. Yes, there were many stop signs on that route. There were many stop signs on that route. Now, I want you to tell me something, right? Show me a stop sign where you wait for 12 minutes. Most of you guys have been drivers, right? If it is a stop sign, unless there's a construction that is happening, but you cannot stop this long. Guys, come on. Stop sign. Worst part, it is during COVID-19. People are not moving as they please, right? So people's movement is restricted. What makes you stand at a stop sign for a period of 12 minutes? Stop sign, 12 minutes. Come on, guys. Something is not make sure. Here, something is not make sure, right? But let's continue. I'm gonna keep showing you certain things here, right? If there's a construction, you know, almost those stop and go. If he said there was a stop and go, but he says stop signs, stop and go. To those that don't know, sometimes you are driving, maybe the road is under construction. It doesn't happen a lot to people who are living in Gauteng, inside Gauteng, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen a lot where you drive, then they close this line, and then we are using almost the same lane. So they will close and then allow the other cars to pass for quite some time, and then they will allow the other one, they will stop these ones and then allow the other ones. So it doesn't happen quite a lot in around Joburg. Joburg in general, it doesn't happen a lot. They stop and go. You know what I'm saying? But I remember the other time we were traveling to KZN, and for quite some time, there was a stop sign. I forgot that this road that they were busy building. There you can stand for this long, but you can stand even more than that, even more than this. Then I can understand. You know, if he had said stop and go, but if he says stop signs, come on. Babonakala ngokuthi bame erobotin for 40 minutes. Hayi asimene asidlulele lapha. Okay, Mokhane, I recall very well. I was talking to Brigadier Keninda carrying the direction. Okay, let's leave it. Ngomezulu, 10:29. It was 10 or 15 minutes. Ignition was off. You started driving again in Carltonville. Mokhane, yes, that's true. Do you remember why you stopped? Ngomezulu, in 15 minutes after your ignition went off, you started driving in Carltonville again. That's correct. Ngomezulu, can you remember why? I know I was speaking to Brigadier Keninda concerning the direction. Ngomezulu, then Ngomezulu moved on and said, now, at about 5:33, you joined the N12. That's correct, Mngomezulu. I believe that's the time after you had verified accused number two's alibi. Then look. Mokwana says that's correct. Mngomezulu, at 15:38, it reflects an access idling in Carltonville at about up to the car is idling up to 15:59. Ignition is off in Carltonville. Then at 16 past 5, it starts up again towards R51 in Western area. And then you join the N12 at 7 minutes to 5 near Eldorado Park. You pass the then land and yeah. Those ones are not important, but there are things that I want to show you here. And you off ramp at Gray Avenue. You were driving on the entry where you approach Gray. There is a T junction where you made a Gray Avenue. At the T junction, we turned right, and there is an engine garage there. And so I was thinking to myself, Gray Avenue. Maybe it's the other one. But when Advocate Mngomezulu was asking all of these questions, there's one thing that I cannot help but notice, or I couldn't help but notice, right? Yeah, I couldn't help but notice even now that my laptop battery is almost dying. Okay, we can continue. I couldn't help but notice that Mngomezulu is prepared, guys. I did a video about Advocate Mshololo. I owe one from Mngomezulu. He's got moves that are very impressive. His preparedness, it's on another level. I like that. So I'm gonna have to do a separate video where I appreciate Mngomezulu. He's very prepared. He's so prepared. That lawyer is so prepared, guys, and I'm impressed. Okay, so Mngomezulu says, look, we're reading this thing called GPS Unlocked, which is now being explained by the who's this guy? He's an expert. Is an expert or what? I don't know. Okay, he's an expert. She didn't know what it means when you ask about GPS Unlocked. There are things that I'm going to show you which are important. So I'm trying to rush to those things because some of them, they are not important. You were driving at this time, you're driving at this and this at this time, doesn't help us, right? Okay, so we look how did you turn? And then let's leave that one. It was not important. Just looking at the most important and relevant information, so to save your data. Mngomezulu, the version of the accused is that first time he was assaulted is next to a garage. Mngomezulu, I'm still listening. I'm sorry, Mokwane. Mngomezulu, and it was an open area because he was not assaulted inside a garage. Mokwane, I'm listening. Mngomezulu, and he was assaulted. Right. So he was assaulted at the place opposite garage, separated by Gray Avenue. Mokhana says, I'm still listening. Mngomezulu, it is his version that it was an open area. He was not assaulted inside the garage, but next to the garage. Mokhana, I am listening. So that's approximately 37 minutes, and according to his version, that's when you parked with Sergeant Mapena. Jonathan came and Mapumulo and Buthelezi from 1930 to 1935, which is 25 minutes to 8. It was when there was a movement that was access idling at Fraser Street. The version of the accused is that the first time he was assaulted, he was next to the garage, which was which he was not precisely sure with the name, but he could see the garage. Mokhane says, no, I was listening. And it is his version that it was an open area. Okay, we already covered this one. And you drove back to Collins and Albertine. Yes, that is true. So this is where this is where first of all, Baloi interjected, right? Says that the record says near Mali, not at Mali. He was being clever there. I get it. I got where he was saying. Now, this is where you saw that, okay, so Seichen Mokwane agree that Mapumo, hey guys, please pay attention to this detail. Bongani Ntanzi was so accurate in remembering where Mapumulo arrived, when they arrived, the occasion, the place, and he remembers almost everything. Tell me something. He remembers everything, and then after remembering everything, he then tells you that this is how I was assaulted. I am asking you this question. When Advocate Mgomezulu asked this question, do you agree that look, Bongani Ntanzi had detailed how Abu Mapumulo and how Abu Jonathan had arrived, and this guy agreed in all of it. And then Mgomezulu says, you agree in all of this. The only part you dispute is the abuse, or is the assault, or is the torture, or is the chopping. That's the only part that he dispute. Guys, at that moment, I couldn't help but say, you know what? This abuse did okay. This torture did okay. It can't be. It can't be. To those that understand, it's South African English. You know, when we say something is not right, or when you say something is not acting up, we just say it's not make sure. You know what I'm saying? That's a South African English. There is an English from UK. There's an English from United States and Australia. Now we have invented our own. Now, so here, looking at all these things, right, guys, I can easily say to you guys, it's not make sure, right? It's not make sure. The reason I need to explain what I explain the South African English is because I know I've got an international audience. People, the second country that watched my content so high, it's Botswana. Then you've got Sweden, you've got England, you've got USA, you've got China, you've got Namibia, you've got Swaziland, you've got you. The list goes on. Yeah. So I need to explain all of these things. Okay, so we then Mgomezulu continued, but as Mgomezulu continued, he was like, at Mali there is access idling. Mokhane says that's correct. Now, I am very worried about this idling which is happening constantly. They go and stop with Bongani Ntanzi. Bongani Ntanzi, consider the fact that he's being painted as dangerous, right? Remember when he was going to do the confession, he needed the people to escort him, heavily armed people, as Vivian Cronier will say, the magistrate. He needed a serious escort. Now, Bongani Ntanzi is there. They are able to go do this stop and go with Bongani Ntanzi. You know what I'm saying? If the car had a problem, if the car has a problem, right, and you are carrying Bongani Ntanzi who is dangerous, what you do, you got to back up. You abandon that car. You leave that car with the members of the state, and then you take another car, which is okay. You continue, but you wouldn't have transported Bongani. You're doing this stop and go if Bongani was a dangerous criminal. Guys, let's not fool ourselves here, right? We are old enough to see things as they are. This is an evidence enough that Bongani Ntanzi was never a dangerous criminal. They want to make him look like a dangerous criminal, but he was never a dangerous criminal. You know what I'm saying? Because this stop and go, this idling of this car, it just proved beyond reasonable doubt that they were not panicking here. They were not acting anything, because Bongani Ntanzi was never a problem here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm interested in this stop and go, which by its nature, it exposes their lies that Bongani Ntanzi is this dangerous criminal, right? Then look at this, right? There are a lot of things that I'm not going to read here, but again, at about 11 p.m, there was an access idling from 10 past until 20 past, and then it went to 25 past, 27 past. The car then decided to switch the car off. yo guys, like the car was started at around about 12 past 2. So you can count here from 10 past 11. They were standing in the same place until about look, is it 14 past 12? Then they switched the car on. They're standing there with a dangerous criminal. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that is, they are not calling another car from a nearest police station to come and get Bongani at least to the closest police station where he can be stored. While Bona, they are busy fixing the car. No, they are with him in the car. And the only justification and the only logical explanation we can derive from that is that Bongani Ntanzi was never a dangerous criminal. They want us to believe that, but we're not going to believe that. And that's a fact, right? Okay. Then in Mohwane, there was, look, he was asking Guti at Mali, who was present, who was escorting them. If those who say they were present, you mean Jonathan, Buthelezi, Mapumulo, Mabena, and yourself? Yes, Gomezol, I wish to note that this above, this one before I proceed. At all this time, Mali, Fraser, Alpamel, Jimistin, Albertine, where is the escort? Altogether, they were there. Then, remember, then Gomezulu comes back and say, listen, according to the testimony of all these people, they say they escorted you from this direction. You know what it does? They only escorted you from, from where to Morocco police station and from there to Fort Lauderdale, not in all this direction. You know what it does? It says that they cannot come back and rectify this because what they said it under oath. So if they want to come back and rectify certain things, it means that we shouldn't believe them. To get a point, this AVL, I'm still saying, they shouldn't have brought this AVL. They shouldn't have brought this AVL. It is working against them. You know what I'm saying? And it is destroying their case to the core now. And I don't believe they will ever recover from this. They did not recover from the DNA expert that cleared all 5 suspects. Now, they came up with all this shenanigans. I do not foresee the judgment being against accused number 1 and 2 here because clearly there are a lot of loopholes. Loopholes that I cannot begin to think about, but I cannot help. I cannot help, but yo. Okay, Utige, between 1853, which is 7 minutes to 7, and about 7:15, which if you add up, it's gonna give you how many minutes? 15 plus 7. It will give you 15 plus 7. It will give you, mathematicians. It will give you 22 minutes. Yes. On Mali, you switch off your car and on again. Mokhane says yes, which gives you 22 minutes. Yeah. So all this time, Bongani Ntanzi, it doesn't click to them that Bongani Ntanzi is a dangerous criminal. It only clicks to them when they want it. Hey guys, come on, man. We are being fooled broad daylight here. But yeah, please pay attention to what I'm going to ask you. At 8 minutes to 7, you were driving next to Collins Street. Yes. You mean Jonathan Buthelezi, Mapumulo Lake, Mapena, and all the accusers says yes, that's true. Yeah. There is an engine garage. Okay. This is where now again I looked at the way Advocate Mgomezulu is going about it. He's showing signs of preparedness, which is something that I highly appreciate. I seriously appreciate his level of preparedness. Ooh, I'm so in love with it. Yeah. What you're telling me is consistent with what accused number 2 said. There was a garage or petrol station there. From that time up to past 23 past 12, the only thing you are disputing is that he was assaulted. Mokhane says, I disagree that we assaulted the accused. So he agreed with everything except the assault, which is creating more problems than it solves. You know what I'm saying? Hey guys, Mokhane agrees that but we did not assault him. This is consistent with the version of accused number 2. and blah 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 blah. They arrive, and look, who says that the person who arrived there was at that petrol station was Jonathan arrived Mapumulo and Buthelezi. Is that not so? Yes, it is actually true that they arrived there. So here, guys, I was so impressed that so Bongani Ntanzi is being vindicated, and Bongani Ntanzi's memory. I was so impressed with his memory to say this happened next to a place like this and this and this, and they come with this AVR and they confirm exactly that. But at the end of the day, they don't want. They just want us to believe that the assault never happened. Good people, icon. Yeah. Oh, judge then had asked. Look, this guy, would you please comment? I need to hear your comment as clear as possible. What, look, did this thing happen, like the arrival of these people? Yes, they came and joined us. They didn't go to Carltonville with us, but they joined us later, which creates another problem. When he was doing confession, they were there to protect him because he's a dangerous criminal, but they went to Carltonville without their protection. Is that not an evidence enough that Bongani Ntanzi is not dangerous as they want him to be seen, or they want to portray him? So that's proof that is proving that they are not consistent with their own words. I am very clear. I don't speak on Morocco. I am talking about the place, and the witnesses confirm that they were there and all the stuff that when Baloi was interjecting. Oh my God. What further confirming the version of accused number 2 is that there was a filling station that is consistent with the version of accused number 2. That is correct. There is an engine garage where we were. You see, again, you are confirming exactly. You know, I'm very impressed with Bongani Ntanzi's memory, Bongani Ntanzi's version. It's super. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, wow. So they confirm everything except the assault, except the torture. But they want us to believe that the torture did not happen. Guys, man, we are not kids here. Can you please forgive us? We are not children here. You know what I'm saying? So what were you doing all these hours? Mohane, as I have explained, I went into the garage to check my wheels, and we came back passing the Glen Mall near Komaro, and I thought that the vehicle was not balanced, and then I joined and entered. Now, guys, let me tell you this. When you take a car to a service, they check almost most of the things and they give you a report. They will ask you, do you want us to fix this, or you don't want us to fix this? They will tell you, we see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say it's a minor service. You took the car for a minor service. They detect certain things which are outside what you call this thing? I wouldn't say your budget, but there's this thing, man, that we sign for your car, ne? Is it your warranty or what? I forgot that right word. But they will tell you that, okay, it is outside that. But if you have if for instance you are insured for more things, you know what I'm saying? They will ask, should we fix it? We'll take it from either the insurance that you are paying for those things. If they want to fix it, they will also tell you that, can we take this? Can we fix this? Then they will charge you. They will show you the amount of money. It's surprising that this car is sick as it is being portrayed here. It is sick. It is not moving well. The question is, it is coming from a service. A service, they're using a big machine that would have detected if the car has a problem or not, and they would have told those people. So the question that we need to ask right now is, if you are saying to us the car had these problems that you are saying it had, then you need to show us a report that came from the garage or the dealership that would have proven us, or that would have been a proof to say, no, the car had this problem, but they say their budget did not allow them to fix this car. And because this is a state vehicle, I promise you that car would have been fixed. If it had any issues, it would have been fixed. So these people are busy lying on a broad daylight, thinking that Till we are not aware. Guys, we do take cars there. You know what I'm saying? These days I'm not driving, but I can tell you this. I know I've been taking cars to a dealership. I understand how, look, what needs to happen when you take a car to the dealership. So it's surprising that this vehicle had all these problems that is being named here. Yes, yet the car is coming from a service. Let's get the report. Let's get the calls that were made from the dealership to say we are detecting 1, 2, and 3 from the car. This is a Fortuner, for crying out loud, a Fortuner that belongs to the state, which means it's being serviced every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And it is receiving best service. If this problem really happened, then the dealership needs to be charged because they did not foresee, their machine did not dictate some of the problems. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason we are taking our cars there. So I don't believe that the dealership did not foresee the problem. I believe that there was never a problem in this car. Just to say, things. Yeah. So he says that there was a smell of smoke and the car was losing power. I forced the vehicle to proceed until an off ramp, and I contacted Preparedness. The vehicle was giving me problems, but it entered the engine garage, and he said I should call Jonathan to accompany us or to protect us or to give us a backup. Okay, no problem. When you got out of the vehicle, I know when I got out of the vehicle, I noticed on the dashboard that it reflected an oil light, and then Jonathan and the crew arrived at the garage because I could wait. And as we had the accused, so okay, I already read that one. Jonathan arrived to provide us with the car, with the backup and all the stuff. So he found that there was a problem with the oil and all the stuff. Now let me tell you this. Speaking about this oil that is reflecting here, most of the time when a car comes from the garage, the oil must be okay, right? If the car is not okay, if the oil is not okay, it will be as it happened to someone. That's that word on your sump. A sump, to those that don't know, it's, you see the engine. There's something that looks like it's big like this, man. It covers the engine below, right? You can open something here. When you open something here, the oil will automatically go down. That's how they drain the oil. Most of the time when the car is coming from the dealership, you will find that they poured the right oil, but they didn't close this. So it's been leaking and opening. Somebody once found that, we once saw the car indicating that there was no oil, and then he switched it off, and then he checked it. He found that the oil was coming out here. This thing had just gotten loose and then fell on the ground. And it was a mistake from the dealership. In this case, when he says that the car had an indication of an oil light, what you then expect is for him, the next thing that he should give us an explanation for is where did this oil went to? So they must find a leakage of oil, you know what I'm saying? But if it comes from a dealership, guys, usually such is covered. In dealership, one thing that I know for sure, oil, water, they don't mess around those two. Because those are crucial things in a car. You may not have petrol, it's good, you can get that car back to the road. But if a car does not have water, if a car does not have oil, it will break the engine, it will turn the engine down, it will kill the car with immediate effect. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time when a car is coming from a dealership for a service, these two, guaranteed, it's always taken care of. So here, it really doesn't make sense. This car has just been recently serviced. So this doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense to me. I opened the bonnet and I saw the oil was low, and I had the oil. I had oil at all time. I filled up the engine with oil and I ignited the vehicle again, and I tried driving the vehicle again, and the wheels were stiff. That is where I switched it off, and that is where now he's busy lying, guys. This is where he's busy lying. Like, honestly speaking, this is not the truth. We are not being told here the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already explained the issue of oil. When a car is coming from a dealership, it must have all the things. You know what I'm saying? It must have all of these things. Guys, I don't believe yonke lento eshiwo abomngoma ezulu lana. I mean, sorry, abo Mosaicheni Mokhwane. You know, they should have come up with another story, not this one. Because these departments or this government institution have got their own mechanics, right? Who are qualified, by the way. So one will then have to ask, why didn't you call the state mechanics, right? Or the SAPS mechanic? Mokhane says he couldn't call the SAPS mechanics because it was already late. He goes on to say they attended the car until they decided to get food. Ntanze was also fed. If Ntanze says he was assaulted, then he must mention when and where and how. Right. Now, let me ask you something. A car that belongs to the state is not supposed to be touched by anybody else. It's a fact. You're not supposed to touch that car. You can't take that car to just a mechanic. It doesn't make sense what he's saying here. They went and got a mechanic to fix a car that belongs to the state. You don't do that. It's like a car that belongs to a company. You don't touch it. You don't take it to your own mechanic because a company has got their own mechanic. They may not have them employed in their vicinity, but they probably work with a certain dealership. When their car breaks, they take them, they hire a breakdown, they take that car with the breakdown, dump it to that, ask them to fix whatever problem, and then bring it back whilst it is okay. When it comes to the state vehicle, such as police, usually they get towed by their own towing trucks. When it gets towed, if they need to work, they will ask other people to come and assist them. But for a state vehicle to be touched by another mechanic, guys, that doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. You must go and ask people who are working in the state, right? You can't do that. You don't do that. That vehicle, it's a property of a state. You look, if there's a problem, you must bring it back to the state, and the state will look. If you've got an emergency issues, the state will also find. The state have got resources. They will find other cars that will come and assist you. You take that car to look. So it get towed, taken to the nearest place where it needs to be fixed. You continue with your work, and they will supply you with another car because these cars belong. It's a property of a state. It belongs to the state. So I don't get it. The justification here, it's just pure deception and just pure lies for me. Now he had a tire problem that morning on their way to Carltonville. He smelled, look, what I smell here. He drove to the garage. He says they later discovered the oil was low, hence the excessive idling, switching off and on. Guys, the car has a problem of oil, right? Why do you switch it on and on? It doesn't make sense. Like, honestly speaking, the car, let me tell you this, to those that don't know, females to be specific, if you don't know this, right? A car usually have complications if it has got, if you allow the petrol to be very low or it end up switching off because of petrol, then the pump, petrol pump and those things, they will then have air. But when it comes to oil shouldn't complicate the car. Oil, what it does, it damages the engine, right? A lack of water and oil in an engine car, it breaks it down. Switching it on and off because of oil problem doesn't make sense. The car, this is not an oil-driven car. It's a diesel car. He even said it. It's a diesel car. Diesel is much more oily, by the way. A diesel car will hardly have problems, the complications that you will have in a petrol car. Diesel car will not give you this air problem like a car, like a petrol car. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we understand a diesel car, when it breaks, it's much more expensive to fix than a petrol car. We also know that. So, here, guys, I don't know, maybe Usajin Mokhwane, they thought that he's talking to people that does not know how to drive cars. But knowing how to drive cars, this does not suit the narrative. Like, honestly speaking, this does not suit the narrative here, right? I'm just checking some of the... you were asked about your speeding. You said the vehicle was from the service. The vehicle was okay. Did you get that? Yeah, a vehicle is like a person, and also like it also have its own illness. Like you went to sickness. Like hey man, yeah, I. Abosentsheni bokhwane bazosibulala bazosiqeda ngiyantshela nina. Hi. Hi God. So when it suits him, the car was from a service, and therefore the car was really pushing him. All those things. I'm just checking. I'm just checking some of the most valuable information that I might be leaving behind here, because I cannot just read everything. You drove 15 minutes here to here. I'm just mentioning the key moments here which are very very key. But what we have learned so far is that there were a lot of fabrication of stories here that does not make sense, and they keep getting themselves into problems. And I'm going to say that I don't think it was a great idea for them to even go as far as getting this. I think yeah, those were key moments for me at this one. And then yes, let me stop here. Those were key moments for me. So I honestly believe that the state made a wrong move by bringing the AVL. It was brought back here to rebut the version of Bogan and Tanzi, but it ended up exposing the state. There's so many inconsistency in this thing. So much inconsistency that even a grade 2 child can see that you are being inconsistent here. We need much more than this from a police service. But also, it's not just about the inconsistency in court and all the stuff. It's also about the reputation of the South African police service. The badge, the uniform, the badge, the uniform, the gun, the cars, everything that belongs to the state, which is supposed to service the civilians or the citizens, especially when it comes to police who are occupying a position of trust in society. And I'm gonna keep saying this: there are police by definition. If police are doing their actual work, you will love them, you will appreciate them, because their job is so sacred and so crucial that you just cannot mess with, right? But as much as you cannot mess with their job, you cannot mess with that. But I feel like it is the police themselves that are messing up with the dignity and the image of South African police service. The sad part is we are not going to see other people being brought into disciplinary hearing because they have taken the name of South African police service into disrepute. It cannot be that you brought the name of South Africa, of such an important organization, into disrepute, yet nothing happens to you, but instead you get promotion. You are lying under oath. There should be consequences for people who are lying under oath. It cannot continue as if it is as business as usual, because it is not as business as usual. You know what I'm saying? We have seen police coming to this Senzo Meyiwa case. They've been lying broad daylight to us. They've said things that we were left shocked. You know what I'm saying? And also, guys, the arrogancy of Zandi Kumalo and Kelly Kumalo, when they speak, they don't care. And that could only be that, it could only say that the people that are backing them up are more powerful than most people. So they know that, you know what, they that are backing us are more powerful than most of you guys. So we don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. It could be, or could it be that some of the police that are lying under oath, they are being backed up by serious people. You know what I'm saying? When they looked at us, they were like, hey, who are you? Because they've got the resources. You know what I'm saying? But it's so sad that whatever is being done here, it is tampering with the image of the South African police service. You know what I'm saying? You are directly violating that, and I feel for people that are working for South African police service who are really doing their work. There are men and women in that institution who love their work. There are men and women in that institution who are dedicated at saving people, but their effort will not be seen or recognized by people because we are exposed to things like that we are seeing right now, which damages the reputation of South African police service. I am telling you guys, when you meet guys, I forgot the cases on. Okay, so yes, I was saying that when you meet real South African police service, you will enjoy their service. You will, guys, you will enjoy because wherever they are, there is peace, and if you are wrong, they're going to arrest you. Finish and clear. I want to end this episode here with the hope that I'm going to see you on the next video. But until that next video, good people, please take care.